how's it going? Caitlin here, and welcome to my kitchen for another prep day, which means we're getting ready for another week. Super exciting. And what's on the menu this week? Let's see, we got Slow Cooker Chicken Cacciatore, we have Clubhouse Wraps, a lazy weeknight shepherd's pie, easy chickpea curry, and pizza night, which is add your own toppings, make it your own. I have a suggestion in there, of course, in the meal pan for classic, you know, kind of a works pizza, but do what works for your family, of course, as always. And we'll get right into the prep, shall we? So I've got a few different levels here. First one is just chopping your veggies, because honestly, just chopping your veggies and having those in the fridge makes such a huge difference. So I'm going to be working with my prep board, which is basically like having a cutting board with pockets on it. So I have one pocket for trash, one pocket for treasure, and I just find it makes everything a whole lot easier for me. So I'm going to start with the part that we all love, a good cry, the onions. So I'm going to be chopping up 3 onions. And just chopping them all up the same way. Honestly, chopping them the same way, regardless of what a recipe is asking me to do, usually just means I'm gonna get it into the kids better. So, even if a recipe calls for something, recipes are meant to be adjusted, right? Like everybody's got different tastes. Everybody's families are gonna have different tastes. So make these your own. I know. What do we do? Oh my goodness, such a beautiful sunny day today. Oh, love it when it just starts to, you know, be brighter and prettier. It's good for the soul. Okay, so just giving a rough chop to these before I go to town with them on a food chopper. If you don't have a food chopper and you're just, you know, going at her like good old-fashioned style, good on ya. Gotta do what you gotta do. But this will be awesome once it's all done, right? So, and I'm gonna tweak mine just a little bit this week. I am going to do one container that has an onion, half of each pepper, and the chopped mushrooms all in the same container. That's because it's all going in the chicken cacciatore. So what I want to be able to do is just dump that thing and just be good with it. So that is what I'm going to do now. Chicken cacciatore, it calls for half of a large onion, so I just threw in a small one. Now I'm going to get another container to do the rest of my onion in. I don't know, going a little fancy, but like little things like that in the prep can help, right? Just to be able to dump and go. chopping to do, but I'm going to take a brief break from the chopping. Give my arm a little rest because there's the rest of our onion. Oh my goodness, there come the tears. So, a couple things that I do have on this prep, and I'm actually going to start right now so that they're prepping while I'm going, is I'm going to cook my turkey breast for the club wraps, and I'm going to cook my bacon for the club wraps and for the pizza. I don't want my bacon to be just there all week sitting in the fridge. So I'm going to cook the bacon, and then I'm going to put some of the bacon in the fridge for the pizza. So I just have to take it out and throw it on the pizza. That's just going to save me time on pizza night. So that is my plan. Now you can cook your turkey however you want to cook your turkey. Or if you decide instead of cooking a turkey breast that you'd rather do deli meat turkey in your club, save yourself extra time and effort, you go right ahead. Like, I do not blame you at all. I cannot tolerate deli meat with my diet, but so I'm just dumping it in there. Get rid of that. And I'm just going to turn it down to poultry. I'm going to add a couple minutes to it because it's turkey breast and it's going to be, you know what? There we go. So, just letting that do its thing. I do have a cup of water in there. And now I'm going to get the bacon started. So just having this stuff cook while I'm already prepping is going to save me a lot of time on the days of. So you do not have to do this like any other prep. All of this stuff is optional. It's just made, it's meant to save you a bit of time on those days, because right now we have this time set aside. If you're prepping anything else, you might as well just be prepping those at the same time, because it's just going to do its thing when you are. I am cooking my bacon in stone bar pan. So I have my oven preheating to 400, and I'm just going to lay all the bacon on here. This is actually one of the best ways to season your stone as well. Like if you have a new stone and it's not seasoned yet, it's an excuse to have bacon, my friends. Because the first few times you're cooking on a stone, you always want to make sure that you're making something that is high fat, that you're adding oil, so you start to get that nice non-stick. And bacon will do that, my friends. Be able to fit it all on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to fit the whole pack or not, but we're just going to mush it right over and see how we go. I get my bacon from the local butcher. They do like naturally smoked bacon over there. It's delicious. Always worth checking with your local butcher. Yeah, you might pay for it, but you kind of get what you pay for sometimes. And there are places to splurge. And if you're meal planning, honestly, you have the license to splurge a little bit, because you're already saving a lot of money. Honestly, if you are doing this meal planning, you'll notice that your grocery bill goes down, even if you're eating better things, just because you're only buying what you need and you're avoiding all those little extras. And those little extras really, they add up over time. And it doesn't take much. Like, I know since I started meal planning, I probably noticed my grocery bill drop almost in half. Like, it's kind of dramatic how much it dropped, and it's a kind of a specialized diet, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna throw my bacon in there. Cards on the table. I made an apple pie yesterday, and some of it burnt to the bottom, and I forgot to clean it out, so I'm really hoping that we don't have the fire alarm go off. We're just gonna hope for good things, friends. Because by the time I had it preheated, I'm like, well, we're kind of already there, right? So, next, gonna do up some peppers. So, we have a recipe that calls for half a green onion, or half a green pepper and half a red pepper. So I'm gonna chop up the rest of it and throw it on the pizza on Friday. So using the full thing, chopping both things of peppers. If you like to have your peppers on your pizza in strips or something instead, then cut half of each pepper into strips and just chop up the other half. But I'm all about the chopped. So, well, you know, little kids, chopping is your friend when it comes to vegetables. There we go. So I'm just gonna give these a rough chop before I go to town with them on my food chopper. Yes, it's a lot of chopping, but this is a lot of chopping that we're avoiding for the rest of the week, right? So I'm gonna, that's my half that's gonna be going on pizza. This is my half that's going on the chicken cacciatore. I have a hard time saying it for some reason. So I'm just gonna start the chopping now. That is having an issue cutting through there. There we go. That's better. If you have a food chopper, the skin side, put it up and it'll chop a lot better. I'm still checking to see like how much of a belly you can have and still reach the prep board comfortably. So far the experiment seems to be going pretty well. Like, get a pretty decent reach. veggies for the chicken cacciatore. And then I will chop these ones up for pizza night. We're gonna be able to have like a couple different colors of peppers on the pizza without having to think about wasting half of it or figuring out what to do with the other half. That was kind of convenient. Unless you're having a different kind of pizza. Then you could still chop the rest up, use it in omelets, whatever you got going on throughout the week. Okay, apparently that might need a little clean too. It's a day for troubleshooting in my kitchen, I guess. My goodness. Okay. So, I'm also putting a carrot in the chicken cacciatore. It's a slow cooker recipe, right? Like, you can throw so many veggies into this. Like, if you wanted to add something different, you could add some zucchini, you could add whatever. There will be chicken in it, so I mean, it's still going to be able to appeal to any carnivores you might have in the house, but lots and lots of veggies, which they don't have to know because we're going to just chop them up all really small. I mean, they're going in a slow cooker, so they're going to turn into like nothing. It'll be fine. All right. So, I'm going to take all these peppers, I'm going to put them into a container in the fridge for later on in the week for pizza. There we go. It's like one more thing prepped, off the list. Everything off the list, it just feels good when it's out of there. And meal prep, it can be kind of addicting just for that purpose, because everything that you're doing is one less thing you have to do throughout the week. I grabbed my container that has the cacciatore vegetables in it again. So I can just chop the carrot. With the amount of chopped veggies, if you had a food processor, if you have one, you could just throw all these in there and do that as well. go. Like, wow, that little bin is getting full of veggies. And there's still more veggies to go in your chicken cacciatore. But I think that's all that's gonna go in there. Unless we have some overflow from the mushrooms, which I'm gonna use something else to chop those. Gonna use this little guy right here. So this is it's called a cup slicer, but it just does slicing, mostly for softer things like mushrooms. Here we go. Now, if all that you were planning on doing was level 1 of meal prep, look at you. You have chopped about 1 million vegetables and you're ready to go for the week, right? I just have a couple mushrooms left to go. Because those are going to shrink down a lot after they are in the slow cooker for the day. I'm just going to throw that in there with the rest, with the cacciatore stuff. There we go. That's a lot of veggies going into a pasta. Now, what else? We've got some cheese to shred, and we also have some lettuce and technically tomato to dice, but my family is not huge on tomato. It's a struggle to get that into the kids. So in place of tomato, I tend to use cucumber. So that's what I'm going to use for throwing into the club wrap. I'm just going to, I mean, you could dice a cucumber, you could slice it. I wonder if I could slice it with the cup slicer. I'm just going to give that a go and see how, oh yeah, that's nice. Perfect. And then I've got some cucumber ready to go. I got cucumber there ready to go for my wraps. Which, if you wanted to do cucumber and tomato, because now you're looking at my cucumber, you think that would be delicious? I don't blame you. Go for it. More veggies, the better, right? Okay. Lettuce. I'm just going to chop up this whole thing because if my lettuce is chopped, then I know that I'm much more likely to eat it. So I'm going to be able to use this for side dishes, even if, because I like that bit of fresh that goes with supper, you know, like that bit, a warm supper fills the belly, and for me, that bit of freshness just completes the whole meal. So having stuff ready for a side salad like this just makes sense to me. So if it makes sense to you, chop up the whole thing, and then it's ready for you to grab and go, ready for you for side dishes for the family. Or if you're the salad eater and maybe other people aren't, then at least there's a fresh thing to go on the side for you, right? There is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. go. So none of the chopping has to be perfect. And all of these veggies were cleaned. Do you clean your mushrooms? I know there's like a lot of people that, I have heard that some people just buy mushrooms and then don't clean them. They just leave them as is. Kind of baffles and confuses me. But then I thought, well, maybe I'm the baffling and confusing one because I wash my mushrooms. I just don't know. So let me know. Are you a mushroom washer? Mushroom washer. Are you a mushroom washer? Alright. Let's do this thing. A little more rough, choppy. Oh, and by the way, if you don't have one, always make sure that you have a nice sharp knife. It sounds like a sharp knife would be more dangerous to have, but a sharp knife is actually a safety thing. If you have a sharp knife, you're able to make a more accurate cut. You're not, you know, smushing it back and forth, trying to do the things. All right, I'm gonna go grab my cheese out of the fridge because I forgot that. Okay, I'm gonna leave the bacon in there for a little longer. Leave it in there a little longer while I shred my cheese. So I'm actually gonna throw a prep mat over this just because it's kind of really ridiculously super wet. I could dry it off, I suppose, but heck, I'm committed now. We're going for it. So I'm gonna grate up a good solid like 2.5 cups of pizza cheese. Because that's one thing that I know my family likes on their pizza is lots of cheese. So if you guys are lighter on the cheese, you can always use less. You can buy pre-shredded if you'd like, but you always do pay a premium on pre-shredded, so shredding now will save you maybe time later, but it'll definitely save you money over the long run. Just take a peek next time you're at the grocery store. You can look at the pre-shredded versus, you know, stick cheese. You'll see there's a lot of difference in ingredients usually as well. If that's something that matters to you, there's generally less ingredients in the cheese that you're buying like this. And sometimes on the price tags they'll have like price per 100 grams, something like that. And it is generally less when you're buying it this way too. Now we do lactose free in the house. I am dairy free, but the rest do lactose free. And this Saputo pizza cheese, it is like miles beyond. We used to get the pre-shredded President's Choice pizza cheese. It was fine, but this makes it like you're having pizza night, like you're actually getting takeout, but you don't have the cross-contamination risk, so. Now, if you're concerned that you're not going to use the whole block of cheese, if you're a cheese person, you might be laughing at me. If you're concerned that you might not use the whole block of cheese, you can always shred it up now, shred up the whole thing, and just put the rest in the freezer, right? And if you're still laughing at me, that's okay too. All right. I'm gonna put this all into the storage container. Perfect. And then I am going to do up some marble cheese as well. This is optional. However, if you're a cheese-loving family, it's an option that you may choose. Oopsies. I like to have my little measuring cup here underneath. This thing will just measure like just over 2 cups. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out for me. And if you're laughing at me for measuring cheese, do I make it very obvious I'm not a cheese eater? But I try my best to make sure I'm doing good by the fam, right? That's the nice thing about a recipe, even if you don't like necessarily eat all of the food, at least it gives you directions on how to do it. So presumably when it's other people who like this stuff, it's going to turn out right for them. And since I am dairy free, I usually just take out my portion before. So if you're dairy free as well, your family is not, and you're looking for creative solutions on how to manage that without creating a lot of extra work for yourself, message me, get in contact with me. And I'm happy to chat any alternatives, because I know that can be a struggle. Get all this cheese in there. There we go. Now that is so much meal prep done for the week, guys. Like, we're going to have such an easy week having all of that prepped, and I'm going to be so well fed. And let me just check and see. Oh yeah, bacon's ready. Turkey will be ready. And there we go, all done. Lots prepped. You guys did awesome, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.